We're starting in 5, 4, 3. Son of a bitch. Need to mute my phone. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and start. Oh, hey everybody, Darksoul 6875 here, and welcome back to Thoughts from Darksoul. Today, I have my webcam on. Oops. Today we are going to be talking about the first episode of Series 10 of Doctor Who. Once again, joining me today is DarkPaladin.
Hello.
Ooh, hello, bye. So, the first episode of the season, the series, is called, was it called The Pilot, I think?
Yes.
Which was weird. I got really confused when I searched for episode names, and I thought it said A Pilot, and I'm like, wait, but this isn't the pilot episode. I got real confused. Because, I'm stupid.
Your words, not mine.
Right? So, this was actually, to me, a pretty good episode to start on. It gave us a fairly good introduction to the new companion, Bill. Gave us a fairly good kind of view on the dynamic that is going to be our group of our main cast for this series, which is going to be Bill, Nardole, and the Doctor. And it also introduced what I would only slightly consider a villain. It's kind of one of those kind of gray areas of what you would actually consider a villain.
Well, yeah, but Doctor Who always had these gray areas always, so
They
it's
do.
not really good.
That's why I'm kind of glad the first episode wasn't a villain of the week kind of episode. It not only did it introduce us to what I think has the potential to be a very good companion, and a very good group of a cast, but it didn't start off generic. That's always a plus for a Doctor Who season. Depending on how the season starts, you can kind of see how the rest of it's going to go. I think I don't know. I think when we were first introduced to Matt's Doctor, it was kind of villain of the week, Patient Zero. Although Patient Zero, tied together a whole story arc with the universe collapsing or destroying itself through the cracks in the universe.
Yeah.
But I don't remember a lot of that season because a lot of it was kind of villain of the week sort of thing. And I guess every kind of Doctor Who is slightly villain of the week with some continuous storyline in here and there. But to me, that season wasn't very memorable until you got to the finale with the cracks in the universe. I think I remember a couple things here and there from it. Maybe I just have a shit memory. But we can.
With that.
Yeah, fuck you. We're gonna go ahead and dive in a bit deeper into the first episode of Series 10. My thoughts are, as the episode went on, we got a decent introduction into Bill, with her just kind of coming in and talking to Capaldi's doctor about why she comes to the lectures even though she's not a student. I actually really liked his answer on why he picked her. Do you remember what he said?
I'm sorry?
Do you remember what Capaldi said to Bill as to why he was picking her? Or why he noticed her?
She was the only one that was smiling?
Yeah, during his lectures, she was the only one that smiled. Seemed to be the only one that was enjoying herself. Which I thought was an interesting answer because it's just how... Because I've had a couple of college classes, and you know what? It's kind of right. I don't ever remember actually smiling during any of the classes that I took. I'm just yeah, I'm here. Okay, I get that. It was interesting because you think he's... Especially when you see the lecture he kind of gives later on in the episode, I could kind of see why her being the only one of the couple people that would maybe smile in that auditorium would kind of make sense because he does kind of how he goes about explaining his topics is very interesting and very out there. Mm-hmm. And so if you're following that and you're understanding it and you're smiling, yeah, no, kudos to you. I mean, I followed it and I understood it, but it was very out there. So we're introduced to Bill, who's going to be our companion for this season. I don't know if the actress is scheduled to appear in the next season or not, or if she's just a one-season companion. I can't remember if I heard anywhere that she was going to be one or the other.
It could be the same way what happened to no. We'll find out what.
It's hard to say. Like I said,
I haven't. But Right now, yeah, but the pilot, I guess what was supposed to be, I guess was a clever name
Yeah.
for it, was supposed to be like, oh, this is a reboot sort of to the series as well, to introduce new people to it,
Yeah, I
as well
guess.
as a continuation.
Yeah. One little, I guess this isn't a little detail. I like the picture on Capaldi's desk
Of his,
with the Susan and River Song. I thought that was kind of
yeah,
neat.
his,
Like, although I don't know if that's supposed to have any connection to the season or not. If it's just like a little nod to like, if you get this, good on you.
yes.
Um. So we start with Bill and the Doctor talking. That's a good. Excuse me. That's a good chunk of this episode. It's just two of them talking, which is really nice. You get to definitely see a good dynamic between the two of them form. I love how she really didn't understand how they got the TARDIS in there. It's like you had to, lift it through a crane, and then she kind of starts to piece together with the rug that she gave him for Christmas, and how the rug is now under the TARDIS in the episode. I thought she kind of started to piece some things together there. She is definitely not the smartest companion that we've had. I will give.
Oh, by far.
Not, but that's fine. Sometimes we don't need somebody. Donna was a great example. Donna wasn't a very smart companion, but she was a fun companion, and to me, always having a companion that's like smart or quick is not always a good thing. Sometimes them learning allows the audience to kind of learn. So Bill's not necessarily like she doesn't have any brain damage, but she is a bit slow on the uptake sometimes, which is fine. Not saying that's a good conduit for me or anything like that, but it's definitely better than somebody immediately picking something up. Sometimes some members of the audience don't always necessarily pick something up, so it's good to kind of have a dynamic like that. I'm trying to think of how this episode goes chronologically. I've only watched it once.
Chronological. Well, basically, you just hear her talk about they keep flashing through certain scenes.
Yeah.
Especially when they would talk about her working at the doing chips, which is chips. If a lot of you don't know, are basically French fries.
Yeah, they call them chips for some reason.
They're bigger than that because French fries are they're more like Texas fries. What we
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what they're doing here is stealing American culture. So the British owes us. Where was I going with this?
I don't know.
Oh, right. Talked about Doctor Who.
Right.
Sorry about that. I'm talking about my hatred for the British.
We're going to be doing that in a part of a podcast about Doctor Who.
Yeah. Hatred for the British broadcast will start next month.
I'm wondering if this was kind of I highly doubt this. This is just me, drawing like fucking theories out of nowhere. But I wonder if this was kind of an allusion to School Reunion, where Rose Tyler was working in the kitchen and she was serving chips. I wonder if that was supposed to be like a little joke or nod towards that.
Probably.
I wasn't sure. My brain's really reaching for connections with that shit.
Well, probably, especially if you think about the new companion meeting up, seeing pictures of the old companions and the thing, and that's how it was, like new meeting old with the with that episode.
Kind of, yeah.
But like I said, the thing that bothers me about her is that she seems to be more of a comedic effect from time to time.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, like, I thought that's what
Nardole was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like I said, it's kind of too early to say.
Yeah, so I'm kind of hoping it's not going to be like slap on the knee, doctor.
Right. She was there for some kind of comedic moments, but she had some decent dramatic performances, I would say.
She didn't have any good dramatic performances, but to me,
the vibe you got was more, haha, I'm kind of, I'm here with Nardole to make jokes while the Doctor does all the heavy lifting.
Oh no, not just that, but more the fact that how can I say this? That the story, this thing seems like, hey, just join me. We should just see this girl. Oh, I like her.
Oh, are you talking about the bar scene?
Yeah,
Yeah, that one was a bit of a stretch for
but it seems a
me.
little drawn. Like, okay, so I guess we're just gonna go with the fact that
I mean,
she's so obsessed with her, like, but like doesn't really know anything about her. I guess because we go like, okay, we can go with chunk this out to like, oh, she looks attractive.
I guess you can kind of
I
go with
want in her
like.
pants.
I guess you can go along with the lines of like this is like a crush, or it's like they're really infatuated with the person by the looks and kind of their personality because they did have a bit of dialogue beforehand, like afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
and they seem to at least kind of get along well, and maybe something could have grown there had they not been killed. Spoilers, by the way. I figured needed to go without saying. Um, I could kind of buy that, and I'm not a big fan of that kind of being a major plot point. But you know what? It wasn't too. I didn't have to suspend my disbelief too much of that being kind of a minor plot point in the episode of her really kind of starting to like this character, and then that's kind of how the whole episode kind of starts. Like the real conflict of the whole episode starts is her liking this girl, and then the girl kind of showing her the puddle and everything. I'm like, okay, I can buy this. This is fine. I get that we're kind of supposed to know. Oh, hey, Bill's gay, and that's fine. They worked it as a minor subplot. I'm really glad what they didn't do is made it a whole like it wasn't the focus of the whole episode. I was really afraid that's what they were going to do in the first episode.
No, I wasn't really thinking they'll do that with the first episode. I'm just really, like I said, it's kind of hard for me to show to have any kind of interest in it right now because all I really know from her is that she's gay and not that
Yeah.
intelligent.
And we also know that she's got a foster mom. So that's
Yes,
interesting.
but then also the pictures thing. Like the thing that bothers me the most is that I see the doctor in this photo.
Yeah.
Why don't I question that?
Oh, well, the thing is, it's because he was the one that gave her the pictures.
I understand that.
Well, he didn't, but my biggest issue with that whole scene is that she sees him in the pictures and she doesn't immediately go and question him like, "What the fuck? How are you in this picture and here right now?" I think that was my biggest gripe with that scene.
Yeah, but also looking the same age.
Exactly. No, it's the exact same person, the exact same age. Looks like
Age, yeah, but that's the thing that thing that makes me go like, okay, maybe she's gonna make her question some more
yeah.
things.
No,
But it's just
actually
more like that.
swept
That
under
didn't. Okay, the rug thing. She added more of a question to
yeah.
than the freaking.
Yeah, like she noticed the rug. And maybe that was something that they just didn't put in there. Maybe it got cut from the episode. But then I guess the reason why they left in the pictures is because it's a very good indication moment for Bill that of how she felt about her mother and how that she really misses her, and that's fine. But if you're gonna keep that scene in, and then not have her raise any questions to the doctor about how he's in that picture and now how he's in, he looks exactly the same as he does now. That really bugged me because I'm like, okay, so this is how she's going to question how he's a time traveler. Oh no, we're just sweeping that under the rug. Oh, okay. What?
Yes.
I think that bothered me. I think that was probably my biggest gripe of the whole episode. Actually, I really do. I think that's my biggest gripe. It's just like she didn't immediately question him about time travel after that picture.
No, my thing is also about the whole. I'm not talking about time travel, more like stuff like, how did you not age?
Exactly.
But you did ask certain questions like that. You just need to get away with everything inside this out here, and why is that?
I did like the moment when they when they were running away from the alien, and they first go into the TARDIS, and it's really like the shot's really good. It makes you like if you never watched the show before, it makes you think that they're just in a box. And the shot's really close. They just enter the TARDIS, and the camera's like real close on them. It makes the audience think like, oh god, they are just in a box. And then it kind of pans out, and Bill's still there because she doesn't know it's the TARDIS and that she's inside it. And then it pans out, Capaldi goes around, turns on the lights, and she's just kind of in awe for a second. And I think the first question she asks is, can I go to the bathroom? Or like, where's the bathroom? I'm just like, yeah, if I'm, almost scared shitless, and I'm inside, you know what, that might be my first question too.
No, that would not be my first question.
Besides, how is it bigger on the inside than it is on the outside? I think that might be my first, like my top 3 first questions. oh God, I have to pee.
But also the one thing it seems that oh God, what's his name again?
Nardole.
Nuddle. Yeah, he's basically going like, oh yeah, she's a little slow on this one. I'm thinking like, oh God, I'm agreeing with Nuddle on this one.
I think that's what you're supposed to do. I think she's probably gonna have a lot of progression as the series goes on. At least that's what I'm hoping. Nardole in this episode was just like really fucking great. I don't think he had like any bad lines. I especially like the when the TARDIS goes back to the big door. You know, what I call the crack in the universe of this series. You know, this is the big ongoing plot of this series, is that door under the university.
Yes. I am kind of curious about that and what's going to happen in there. But he also keeps claiming that there's a reason why he's there, that he's in the university because of the
door.
The door.
Yeah.
But also the oh God. But he has to also remain hidden. He has to remain disguised.
Yeah, for some reason, like I guess the door. There's something behind the door that is either good or bad. It's actually not really given away, but he doesn't want any other life form or anybody else to find this door. Like, he's very keen on protecting the door for some reason.
Yeah.
But to what I was talking to before, why I got on to why the door is important. my favorite scene with Nardole is so she finally comes out of the TARDIS. Nardole and the Doctor are kind of messing with the door, making sure the alien hasn't gone for the door. And I think it finally clicks with her that they can now move in space. They haven't done the time travel yet. Or no, yeah.
I did also like that when she mentioned TARDIS, the acronym only works in English. How does that make sense for an alien device?
Yeah, that was funny. I like that.
Yeah, but
the scene with Nardole is when she finally kind of clicks with her, and then he looks to the Doctor and goes, "Hey, she finally got there." They just shake hands. I'm just like, yeah, that seems like something I would do with a friend of mine if we had like and I'm generally like the slow one of the group when it comes to my circle of friends. I feel like that's how they usually react when I finally get something that's like, "Hey, we did it." Shake hands. I'm just like, oh, I am Bill a little bit. Shit.
Also, good to see all the sonic screwdrivers inside a cup.
Yes, I thought that was so cool. I think it was all of them, except I don't think I saw 11's.
11's was in there, if I
was
remember
it?
right.
I might have just not seen it. I might have just been focused on like 3, 4's, and everybody else's.
Yeah, but I thought I saw 11.
I don't recall, so I'm gonna leave that one up to you. I
just thought the sonic screwdriver was the same sonic screwdriver, just updated.
Same software, different hardware. To quote the 50th anniversary. I like how he gave. Didn't he give? He gave Nardole either the third or the fourth sonic screw. Fourth? That's what I thought. It was either 3 or 4.
I think it was the 4th. Because let's get into my Doctor Who knowledge here. The event. Oh, I'm not gonna do that voice. Fuck it. The event that happened when they were traveling through, trying to chase her when the Daleks appeared was something. It was a war between the Daleks and the Movians, which was not last seen since the 4th Doctor's story, the destiny of the Daleks.
Shit, you beat me there. I didn't even know that.
Yep. Yes.
That's a good callback.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was. I did like Nardole's reactions, like the greatest fire in the universe. He's just like, oh no, no, not again. And when Capaldi was talking to Nardole, it's like, okay, so I'm gonna need you to run distraction. What if I want to say no? You can't. Are you sure? Yes. Or something like that. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, he's just great.
He's just like, I don't want to. He's like, but you have to. He's like, really? Yes. But what if I want to say no? You can't. Oh. It's a perfect coward kind of moment. Like, you get the Nardole along for the ride, but he's an absolute coward. And I love it. Because we don't get a lot of coward characters. But he steps up to it. He steps up to do it. Like he always does. He's like fucking Scooby-Doo. It's like, do it for a
Oh.
goddamn Scooby snack.
Right, but there's also but I guess the reason why they wanted to bring up the whole Bill thing, saying it only works for an English aspect. Now, there's always been a weird continuity when it came to the name of TARDIS, because other Time Lords named that. But if you go back to the Unearthed Child, which is one of the original
That's
doctors,
yeah.
the original doctor actually, the
Yeah, I was
first
about to
one,
say, this is the
the
first
doctor's
episode.
granddaughter actually said she came up with the name TARDIS.
Time and relative dimension in space.
Because of the name, so technically she was the one that named it TARDIS.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
she was going to an English school at the time.
So yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. in a way.
But at the same time, it doesn't make sense why other Time Lords call it TARDIS.
Maybe they just liked the name.
While the Doctor was on a runaway,
I don't know, man.
remember?
Yeah,
The Doctor was okay.
I get what you're
Yeah, the
saying.
Doctor was running away basically, and then he did because he took the TARDIS.
Yeah, or
And the
TARDIS
second
took
one.
him.
Then the second one took over, and then he was forced regenerated on the third, and then
Yeah.
was forced to stay on Earth.
For pretty much the whole time, wasn't he?
Not all the time. Then he became president what was it? President of Gallifrey for I think what's his fourth or fifth regeneration?
I don't remember actually.
Fifth. It was the fifth
I
Doctor.
was going to say because I don't remember 4 being the president.
What?
I don't remember 4 doing that.
Yeah, but yeah, that was really interesting to find out the little certain callbacks to certain series.
Moffat's always, I guess, pretty good about doing callbacks. They're never too generally obvious.
Not unless you're a big Doctor Who person.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
like my favorite line from was from Neville when he said, "Imagine being able to put a larger box inside of a smaller box," which was a line from the Fourth Doctor.
Was it?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't remember that one.
Well, it was not really a line. It's more he demonstrated in some kind of
Oh,
way.
okay. I was about to say, I'm like, wait, I don't remember him saying that.
Yeah.
We should probably actually get on to like the villain of the episode, quote unquote.
Yes, the
The
puddle.
oil. The puddle oil
Sentient.
fuel thing.
Sentient,
It was
somehow
really
sentient.
weird. And Doctor Who has always been good about having some like out there villains, but like this one was really fucking weird.
Yes.
And I wonder if this villain is going to have anything to do with anything else because there were scorch marks still. It means the spaceship that was there had to have left recently. But essentially, the villain of this episode is some fuel left over by said spaceship. Just somewhere. They never really specify where it is. It's just somewhere. The fuel itself that is left on the ground is sentient somehow. It just is. Just don't question it. And that if you look inside it, it somehow captures you? I think? I don't really think they explained that too well on how it, like, takes over a form. Do you remember anything, or...?
It was kind of like just taking... how they explained it was that it needed a pilot, and it just kept searching for it over and over. They were looking for someone that was looking to leave as well.
That's right. Because I forgot what the character's name was. The character... Heather, that's what it was.
My God, you don't know anything.
Well, no, it's just a very forgettable name. Heather's a very forgettable name to me. Heather was wanting to leave, and she also had this weird defect in her eye that made part of the iris look like a star, which I thought was kind of dumb. You could have gone with something else.
No, well, I think that's the main reason was so that way they can say that, that's the reason why she noticed what was wrong with it.
No, I'm saying you probably could have gone with a better defect than a star in the eye. Like something a bit more grounded in reality. Because, how many times do you hear about somebody having a star-shaped defect in their eye? It's another little nitpick I had, because you can do a lot more with eye defects than just that. But I guess you could also say it was supposed to be kind of like, oh, she had her eyes set on the stars. I don't know, because that's where she eventually ended up. I don't know, if you're trying to be poetic about it. So you look in the puddle, and then you see something wrong. You see that your face is symmetrical. It looks, I think they said perfect or something along. It looks right, quote unquote. But it looks wrong to you because you notice all these little imperfections in yourself. Heather's star in her eye, or Bill, I think, had a freckle. Is what they said. Something. She had something on her face.
No, I thought they noticed like her the button was.
Oh, that's right. There was the button. The doctor mentioned like, oh, if you have a freckle or something, you'll notice it.
Yeah.
Her button. There's something wrong with her button.
No,
So they.
Her button was there because it wasn't picking up on that on the
right in the reflection.
Yeah.
So Heather gets sucked in somehow to this puddle, and then she's now being used by this sentient oil to somehow get off the planet. I believe they're trying to it's trying to get away, and it wants a passenger. So the passenger is Bill, because Bill had feelings for Heather. So the rest of the episode boils down to the fuel trying to get to Bill, and it chases her all the way to her apartment, and she goes to the doctor. They get into the TARDIS. They go to Australia at first to see how long it would take for the alien to get there. It gets there in a couple minutes. And then they go to the other end of the galaxy, and it's there in a couple of minutes. It essentially, it's following her. You can't not be followed to her. So then they go all the way to the strongest fire in the universe, the hottest fire in the universe, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Which is the Daleks. Don mentioned the fight between the Daleks and the alien race. That was a callback to the Fourth Doctor. And so the fuel runs into a Dalek via the Doctor kind of, saying, hey, follow me. Then they run away from the Dalek. The Dalek shoots at Heather, the fuel, life form, whatever. And it doesn't really do anything to it, which is surprising. Usually that either kills something or it destroys them in some way, but it doesn't do anything to it. And somehow the fuel takes the form of a Dalek, which was weird. Then it kind of goes back to Heather. We don't actually know what happens to the Dalek. Maybe it just got absorbed like Heather did. That's what I assume happened. Then essentially we figure out why Heather / this fuel thing won't leave, and it's because Bill asked Heather to make a promise to not leave without her. That's why the fuel is still there and why it's always chasing Bill. Part of Heather is still in there, and it's like, it wants to be with you. And so essentially Bill then has to tell her to just forget me, just leave. And then they try to share this kind of moment where it tries to they kind of Heather holds her hand out, and Bill goes out to grab it. The Doctor keeps telling her not to do it. She does it anyway. They grab each other's hands, and it shows her the universe, I want to say.
Yes.
In some way, it's kind of like a romanticized version of the universe. She eventually breaks free of the grasp, and then the fuel leaves. It just kind of leaves after that. Bill is somewhat shaken by this, and then the episode pretty much ends. There's not too much after that happens, is there?
No, there's a few things that happen after that. Mostly what it does is it kind of makes you wonder now, was she actually dead?
Yeah, that is a big...
At the end, because what it was, all she did was repeat everything the Bill would say. But at the end, she actually said goodbye Bill instead of saying goodbye Heather, which you thought would happen.
So there's we don't know if it's dead.
Then it was a callback to when the Doctor was going to erase Bill's memory, but
and there's actually something I didn't notice that a lot of, unfortunately, Tumblr has picked up on, and a lot of other places have picked up on. Right before he was about to wipe Bill's memory, and she goes, what if this were to happen to you? Apparently, Clara's theme starts to play. I didn't catch that.
Yes.
Mostly because I don't remember Clara's theme. And so, as of, I think it was last season, Claire did kind of wipe his memory to a degree in the season finale. So that was a callback. And so he doesn't wipe her memory. I thought they were going to go with like a Donna callback there instead of a Clara callback. That's what I was really hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because I like Donna more than I like Claire, but that's besides the point.
Yes.
So he doesn't wipe her memory, and then he kind of invites her to be his new companion. And then we kind of see clips from the rest of the series. And I think that's it. And then we know the next episode's called Smile, which is going to involve the emoji robots. Otherwise, I'm trying to remember. I remember something that stuck with me for some reason. When Nardole is first introduced to Bill, he drops something. It looks like it falls from him.
I think it's hinting that the bottom lower of his body is robotic.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, wasn't he just a disembodied head in the Christmas special?
Yes.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of strange. But
So
for some reason, we're not really revealing it. We're just kind of hinting towards it. I guess maybe that'll have something to do in a later episode.
I mean, you didn't hear the robot noise that was coming from him?
I did, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird that they just don't go, oh yeah, by the way, the rest of my... you just traveled through time and space. By the way, this guy's got a robot body. Why not just... If you're going to go, I don't know. I guess instead of just showing it off, they're just kind of hinting at it more than anything.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't really think there was much else in the episode besides that. I think we've touched upon just about everything. Unless you can think of something that I missed.
I can't really think of anything, but also I'm really just looking forward to see
The rest of the series.
the rest of the series, seeing what's going to happen on this part. I am wondering what they're going to do with the next episode, which
It might be the cringe episode of this season. The emoji. It might be like a cringy episode next.
Oh yeah, I'm already expecting it.
I'm ready for the cringe, for the emoji bots.
Yeah.
I
Great.
really want to know what's behind that door. I wonder if it has to do either with the Cybermen or the Master. Those are my two big theories. That's what that is. Like, that's what that door's got to deal with. Because we see the original Cybermen in the series, and we're gonna see the two Masters. So I'm wondering if that's one of those two things is behind that door.
I don't know. We'll find out when it happens.
So yeah, otherwise, it was a good first episode. It was a good season start. Like I said, I could only really nitpick at some things. Otherwise, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a good introduction to Bill. It was a good introduction to the group as a whole. And it finally looks like we're going to get kind of a no-nonsense kind of Capaldi doctor. Who's just like, yeah, he makes the occasional joke here or there, but otherwise he's just the doctor. There's no too much awkwardness of Matt Smith or anything like there. It feels like Capaldi's finally, A, finally gotten some good scripts to work with, and B, he's finally found his doctor. He kind of found it last series, but now like this feels right. His doctor feels like it's his. So
I thought he found his doctor beforehand. It's just
yeah, but poor writing kind of made that hard to work with.
I don't know. I like everything that's been going on so far.
I mean, I've liked it, but like I felt like Series 8, it was kind of writing wise. Series 9 was great. Series 10 is looking like is going to be like the best for Capaldi's run. But yeah, so I'm excited for this week's episode, which is going to be Smile, which will have technically premiered yesterday by the time this podcast goes out. So we'll be talking about that episode in the next podcast. So that's all we got. Thank you all for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this part of the podcast and stick around for the next part. Thank you, Dark Paladin, for joining me. And yeah, we'll be back in just a second. Yay! Oh, hey everybody, Darksoul 6875 here, and welcome back to Thoughts of a Dark Soul. The second part, Don and I are going to talk about a new series that I've taken quite an interest in, and that is Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I've recently started watching it on Netflix, and I would say I started maybe less than a week ago, and I think I'm almost done with Season 3 out of like 5 or 6. So, needless to say, I think I like it just a little bit. obsessively binge watching aside, there's a lot I like with the show. There's a lot that's done well, and only honestly a couple things done not too terribly well. It takes place in between episode 2 and 3, which is the Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith, and it tells the story of the Clone Wars. Because unlike episode's 2 title, they really should have titled it "The Lead Up to the Clone Wars," because there wasn't actually much Clone Wars going on in episode 2. At least if memory serves right.
Also, I want to clarify, we're talking about the 2008 series,
Yes.
not the 2003 series that was animated.
Well, technically they're both animated.
Okay, one is CGI, though.
Yeah, CGI animation.
Yeah.
I always forget that there's the other one. I don't think that one's considered canon. I think this one is considered canon.
They took several things from that one, and they took a lot of the same voice actors, too.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think there are many returning voice actors. Outside of maybe Yoda and maybe Dooku and Qui-Gon. I think those are like the... I can't confirm.
Count Dooku?
Yeah. Is he...
For the animated series, for the 2008?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not
it's
who
not?
he is. No.
Let me check the... wow, it ran until 2015?
Who else you said? And Yoda, you said?
Yeah.
I don't think it's the same guy.
Let me... let's see. Whoa, okay. Oh, they didn't get the same guy to do... Tim Curry is Palpatine?
Yeah, through 5 and 6.
Through 5 and 6.
Yeah.
I thought it was...
Season 5 and 6.
Oh, okay, I got so confused.
Yeah, it was actually Ian Abercrombie who was playing the voice of Palpatine, but he passed away in 2012.
Okay, I was about to say, I got real confused there for a second. Because I know Ian McDiarmid is Palpatine IRL, but... I guess they just couldn't get a lot of the same people. Clone Troopers...
Well,
yeah, but... I mean, a lot of the famous actors probably have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they have a lot more money for...
Well, no, they probably also have a busier schedule.
Yeah.
They did get Anthony Daniels to do his voice for C-3PO, which was awesome. I figured Yoda would be on here.
Yoda is. He's Tom Kane.
Did I miss that?
Yeah, Maine.
Oh, I just see him as narrator. It just says narrator /...
Where are you looking for information at?
IMDb. I really should stop going here.
I'm at Wikipedia.
I knew Seth Green voiced one of the characters.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah, he didn't really try to hide his voice.
I mean, Tom Kenny was in it, Phil Lamar. Several people have been in this show.
There's a lot of people.
So, yeah, no.
Yep, Liam Neeson, Qui-Gon. I think he's the only one that actually returned.
Really? Because I don't know.
As I've seen.
That's recurring, though. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Anthony Daniels and Liam Neeson are the only recurring characters. Or the recurring actors.
Yes.
But we got way off topic with that.
I'm surprised I got that. Then.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. But yeah, so yeah, voice actors aside, now that we spent a couple minutes on that, it's a really good show. From what I remember, or from what I've heard, I didn't watch the show, obviously, when it was originally aired. I assume it was a week-by-week basis. And a lot of the episodes are kind of one-offs. They're not there's no overarching story for the most part. Unless... There are some, but there aren't many. Unless they're like 2, 3... There's even like 4-parters in this, which I thought was crazy. Each episode is introduced as the same. We get our announcer telling us what the hell's going on in the episode, and they just dive right in. There's no... It's just, boom, starts.
Yes.
You get your background information, and bam, you're thrown into the episode. And honestly, we generally stick between a couple main characters. We stick with Obi-Wan, Anakin, Anakin's Padawan, Ahsoka Tano, Padme, and unfortunately, we have to suffer through the occasional Jar Jar Binks episode. Lord help me. Those are the ones I wanted to skip, but I'm just like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. Watch it all.
Get it.
But I kind of went in thinking this was a show that aired on Cartoon Network. You had a big following. Like, okay, this will probably be all right. You know, this is made on Cartoon Network. What can they do? I was so wrong. I was not ready for this. Like, this show can get very dark.
Yep.
Very quick. Like, when they titled this The Clone Wars, this is war. They haven't necessarily shown it on screen, but there's a lot that is implied or kind of cut away from, like, right before it happens. So they don't actually, so they can, air it on Cartoon Network, but we see clone troopers shot in the head. We see people getting stabbed with lightsabers constantly. I don't know if we've seen any beheading or being anybody cut in half. I don't recall. At least, and I'm almost done with season 3, so I'm not caught up through the whole show. I remember recently one episode there was some clone troopers going through an emergency hatch in what's called the Citadel, and the doors start closing. They start closing quickly, and if you don't get through, the doors are just gonna cut you in half. And one trooper doesn't, and right before you see it close, it cuts away to another door, but you hear him scream, and I'm just like, oh my god. That's... I didn't witness it, but actually I think seeing it would have made it not nearly as impactful as just hearing it and leaving my imagination do the rest of the work for me. Because it was just a metal door, and it's not a sharp door, it's just... oh, god. There's just a lot. I mean, and even there's a couple episodes on Geonosis. They started bringing out flamethrowers and burning the Geonosians alive. I'm just like, what the fuck? This show does not shy away from war at all. This show doesn't shy away from a lot of topics when it comes to war, and I'm actually really glad about that. It's almost refreshing when it comes to Star Wars, because Star Wars is either space battles or kind of small scale battles, but in this you really get the sense of the scale of the Clone War, and it's just kind of amazing. I guess a lot of the storylines are good. All the characters are written well. Obi-Wan is sassy as a motherfucker, and I love it. We all get that sassy Obi-Wan that we know from episodes 2 and 3. So good. Voice actors do a great job. I was very surprised to actually look up to see that Obi-Wan Kenobi's voice actor wasn't actually Ewan McGregor. He does a very great job of tricking me that he wasn't him. It does a really good job. A lot of the stories are good. There are some bad ones, but otherwise, as a show, it does a really good job in telling the Star Wars stories in between episodes 2 and 3, at least in my opinion. I would say, nitpick-wise, like, if I had to, dissect the show, some of it's kind of predictable. And obviously, due to characters having to live until episode 3, everybody that lives until episode 3 is going to have plot armor, so you can't expect too much to be done with them. But that's kind of always an issue with the expanded universe. If it's set before a certain episode where certain events take place, nothing's going to happen to that character that's too life-altering. So then, between that and some gripes about how some of the writing is, because obviously it was intended for kids, it can be a bit... at times some of the storylines aren't the best, but man, when this show is on a roll, it is just great. I've lost hours to this show and I do not regret it. Dylan, what do you think?
To answer your other question about decapitation, yes, it does happen.
Does it?
How far are you?
Season
what season?
Season 3.
Oh, okay. Next season.
Next season? Okay,
yeah.
Good. Good.
There is. And you won't believe who did it.
I probably will.
No, you won't.
Okay.
Trust me, because I did not expect that person to do that.
Okay. So, go on.
I mean, it's not a bad thing, but it's like, oh, that's Can't see that character the same anymore. Yes, I do agree with that. It went to a whole darker thing where it surprised me because I'm thinking like, oh, it's Cartoon Network. You know, they'll just show some little thing and say like, they'll say like, I'm going to destroy you. No, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
My brother said like, did they just say the K word?
Yeah, language is a lot different in between the show and the movies.
And then we saw in one scene where this guy is sitting down in the chair talking to him as they're trying to escape, and the guy gets stabbed to death by the girl with a lightsaber. And my brother looked like, we just watched death.
Yeah, I think you're talking
cartoon designed for children,
right? Like they don't pull punches in this show. I think that was the guard that they
did.
Off.
They did pull some punches.
They did?
Like the episode I'm talking about where you can't say that there's no beheadings. There is. Cartoon Network censored it at the last minute.
Real? Wow, what dicks.
Huh?
Hopefully Netflix didn't censor it.
Huh?
Hopefully Netflix didn't censor it.
I don't think Netflix is going to censor it.
Well, I mean, I hope they have the unedited version of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like I said, but really, I mean, here's the thing. Yes, I can see what you're talking about. Oh, they're dicks, but at the same time,
oh no, I understand.
The show was pretty dark enough. Do you really?
No,
especially when I talk about is this certain character who's supposed to be relatable to children?
Oh, so
I don't think they want
so
that.
Then I know exactly who you're talking about.
They don't want to deal with that. So yes, maybe we shouldn't have that be shown to children. That, you know.
Who then go and watch episode 3 and watch Anakin.
Oh, I can let you know what episode it is. Season 4.
No. I meant like episode 3 as in the movies where we go and then...
Yeah. No, I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you
know.
Don't
let me know. Don't let me know. I already know it's season 4. I'll wait for it. Don't spoil it anymore.
Tell me what episode, because you got some episodes to watch before you get to that part.
I'm on like episode 18 of season 3. I've only got like a couple more.
Yeah, but then you gotta get like almost like halfway towards the season, because I think how many seasons is in like an because it's always like it's so like you got a bit to go see it. But yeah, things get darker, things get wilder, and
let me look at it.
Things get more messed up.
I'm looking at. Give me a second. Netflix, work with me, please. Or don't. Oh god, don't play it. How many more episodes do I have? Oh no, I'm on episode 21. I'm on Padawan Lost. I've only got Wookiee Hunt, and then I'm done with season 3.
Oh God, please shut up before I beat you, cat.
Don't beat the kitty cat. Just, nudge it out of the way.
No, it's outside my door meowing.
I know, nudge it out of the way. We don't condone the beating of kitty cats. At least I don't.
Yeah, that's you. I beat the shit out of my cats. But either way.
Well, that just went dark, just like the writing. Hey.
But yeah, the whole thing when it comes down to the Jedis and the wars going on there, this is kind of what we expected from
what we thought
season from the movie.
This is what we thought we were going to see, not, hey, this is just leading up to the Clone Wars, episode 2.
But also, it makes you feel for clones.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, you felt nothing for these clones. You didn't care if they died or not.
Weren't given a lot to work with.
One clone that you will care about a lot is Rex.
Yeah. I feel like Rex will probably die at the end, because I know Cody lives on to... I'm right because of that.
Not spoiling anything for you.
Oh god, I have a feeling that I'm right, because I know Cody has to live throughout the whole series, because Cody is the one that tries to kill Obi-Wan in episode 3. He's the one that gets the order on Felucia. I think it was Felucia.
Yes.
I'm about 98% sure that was Felucia that he fought Grievous on. No, it wasn't Felucia. Felucia was where the Twi'lek Jedi died. Where did he go in episode 3? Don't worry about it. I'll answer that question on my own with the internet later. Okay, one of my big nitpicks I would say about the show is that while it does a week-to-week basis, there is a timeline for the show, and they fuck with that a lot. Like, not in a sort of time travel kind of sense, but some episodes take place at certain times, and then other episodes take place at other times, and certain characters are alive when they've already been shown to be dead. It really gets confusing because it's not very consistent. I went looking online because I was watching an episode, I'm like, wait, isn't that character, didn't that character already die? So I went online like, oh shit, yeah, he was dead, but this episode took place before then, but why did it come out? What? So I don't know if it's necessarily a continuity issue or if they wanted to tell the story in a certain way. It's kind of hard to say. It gets real confusing, especially when storylines aren't picked up for another season. I think the big one for me is after Zero the Hutt gets rescued in season 2, we don't see that storyline progress until season 3. And I'm just like, I actually forgot about Zero escaping from the Senate. And I'm just like, wait, but that happened last season. I thought we were done with this. I got so confused. I think one of my other nitpicks is Anakin's Padawan. And this is a specific nitpick just for her. I think it's in season 3 we kind of start to see her grow up a bit more. And at some point, she learned how to wield the second lightsaber. But I don't remember her ever saying that she was, acknowledging in the story that she was, she had trained to use a second lightsaber. She just kind of had one, and I'm just like, wait, what? When did she learn how to use another lightsaber?
I admit, I missed certain episodes and stuff on so I don't really know much about the whole continuity thing, or probably don't really follow it too well, but...
No, apparently you need like a chart to follow how the episode's working.
But most of the time, like I said, the downfall for me was a certain...
And you can't say, can you?
No, we talked about this.
We did?
About the father, the daughter,
oh,
the
yeah,
son.
yeah, the Force Planet episode.
Yeah,
that was the downfall for you?
Yeah.
Okay, explain. I'm curious to hear
because
your
to
thoughts
me, the Force, how it was supposed to be like this mystical thing that was out there. And then it turned into midichlorians, which, thank you for that.
Oh, God, let's not meme about that too hard.
Midichlorians is everybody. But then the next thing was, there's this father-like creature and this daughter-like creature that represents for light, and the son, that's the dark side. And there's the father's supposed to be like the balance, and by golly, they're like these all-powerful, almighty things that can do so much. But then here's the question. Here's the question.
Okay.
What's the point of fucking Anakin?
Okay, so the point of Anakin is to bring balance between those two, essentially. He is the father, and he was supposed to take over the father, and that way he could keep balance in between the two. At least, maybe that's how they... Because technically, they don't represent each side of the universe. They are... At least, I don't know, because they are Force users. They're not necessarily stated that,
they're gods.
Yeah, they're pretty much gods in the universe. So it's really confusing, because at one point they say they are representatives of the light, the dark, and the balance, and yet they kind of play it off as they're not, so it kind of gets real confusing. Like when the daughter dies, like, the Jedi will lose tremendously now, and it's just like, what? But how? Explain. And they never do.
It work. How does this all come together? How are you to be able to be so much? How stories do you have in your asshole, bitch?
And the worst part is we don't even know if it was real, because they wake up on the ship at the end of like the 4-parter. So we don't even know if it was real, or if it was the Force just giving them a vision or something like that. I don't know. I actually hate the ending to that episode more than I actually love the rest of the episode, because I think it's interesting, especially the vision that Anakin sees of his future self as Vader, which we don't see too much of. And my question is I thought about this after we talked about the episode at work. So Anakin sees his future.
Yes.
Does he see Sidious?
I don't think he does. I'm not sure.
I mean, that's the thing. We're not shown what he sees. We only get.
As far as I know, I think he only sees what he does. Because I think if he did, I think he probably would mention, "Hey, Obi,
Palpatine
I have to do this so that way you don't drop me in lava."
Yeah, that's my whole big issue. He's shown these visions, and you even hear the "I loved you like a brother, Anakin," and it's never brought up again.
Well, then, yeah, but he was made to forget.
Were they though?
Yeah, he
that's
was.
right. So, oh god, it's just so confusing because they were made to forget, but then was it all a dream? Were they made to
I
forget?
don't know.
What
All I know is
happened?
this.
Like it's
Like I said, that's the reason why it was like one of the weirdest points for me in the series. Because for me, it was seeing. Well, from what I've known of the Star Wars universe, and trust me, I'm not a Star Wars fanboy as hard like that, but
oh yeah, well,
I
kind
seen
of.
this be set into the reality of what Star Wars was. Then we had these deities appear. I'm like, okay, so are there gods in this world?
So,
In this universe?
see,
What
I
the
don't,
fuck?
if I remember correctly, and I could be misremembering, they weren't called gods; they were called Force users.
Okay. But they're Force users that have lived for God knows how long, like probably for several millennium.
They never really say.
They don't really say anything about these good things.
They
All we
don't.
know that they're super all powerful. Really, Anakin has can't really do too much with them. It can be easily
I don't know.
manipulated by it.
He's actually he could. Okay, so my big thing actually with those episodes were he was able to control the daughter and the son in his trial, and yet he's never able. He doesn't do that again for the next couple episodes. He's shown to have all this tremendous force power and then doesn't use it. I'm just like, what? Like this was a huge, like the first like episode or two was a huge power spike for Anakin, and then it's never mentioned again.
Yes.
And maybe he forgot about it, so it makes sense why he doesn't do it in the later episodes. But my God, but we've been talking about this one episode for like a while now.
Yes, we have.
Overall, though, I really do think it's a good show. Aside from some nitpicks and some kind of, how does this work in universe and, obviously some of the writing, it's a fairly good show. There isn't too much that I can honestly go, oh, I didn't like this, or, oh, throughout the show, this was something that really stood out to me as just awful, and this is apparently my critic voice. I don't know where this came from. I just came up with it now. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope it's not too annoying or grating.
Yeah, it probably was.
It probably was. I will never use that voice again because I don't remember how I did it.
Nightmare fuel.
In a podcast. Thank you. This is where we needed it. But no, overall, I think it's a good show. It definitely has a lot of strengths. It definitely gives you a bigger perspective on the clones themselves, especially as we watch one specific clone group kind of from their youth into the field and kind of their experiences. It's a really good set of stories once you somehow piece them all together chronologically. Because they sure as hell don't in the show.
Yes.
Because we meet them originally in season 1. One of them dies in season 1. We see them all throughout season 2. In season 3, we're introduced to them as children. And then the story picks up from there. And it's just like, wait, what? What? You need a flowchart to actually watch this show in chronological order, which I never.
There's no reason.
Which is fine.
No rhyme and reason.
Which is fine. A show can do that. I just wish it wouldn't. Because I watch sci-fi shows that do some shit like this, but at least they're in goddamn chronological order.
Yes.
But no, do you have anything to add?
Besides the fact that this show is really good, even though I do have some problems with some things, I would say give it a watch, especially if you're not that big into this Star Wars universe. Also, if you want a good reason for the 1, 2, 3 to exist,
or no, the prequels. Sorry, not the original.
The 1, 2, 3 to exist. Watch it. It will it'll make you feel a little better.
And it'll actually make you enjoy. Oh, sorry.
And more character than 3 of those movies combined.
Yeah, I would say 3 out of those 3 were the best. Revenge of the Sith was probably the best out of those in general.
Yeah.
But
I'm saying the TV.
The TV show has a
better.
lot. If you watch the TV series and then you go and watch episode 3, you understand.
We'll actually feel for the characters that die.
You actually feel for a lot more of the characters. It's insane how much because I've watched a lot. I've watched these movies multiple times, and now watching this series is just oh my sweet Jesus, You don't really feel the loss for the Jedi. You understand that they're wiped out, but it's just like, oh, okay, whatever. We know how this ends. Because we know that after this, Luke Skywalker comes in. All these characters, well, it sucks, but, it happens. Then you watch the Clone Wars TV show, and it's just like, oh, I liked you, and you,
Shit just got real.
and you, oh, no.
Because tell me, did anyone feel anything for that girl who died in the one area with all those clones with the walkers where the forest area was?
I didn't actually feel for her until Battlefront 2, which told the story of the 501st Clone Army.
Yeah, but
I remember the little snippet story where you have to kill her, and the little dialogue line that went with that after you did it. It's just like,
I didn't really feel anything for that really because I still didn't know her.
I didn't either, but it gave me more perspective because you hear Commander Cody going like, she treated us better than anybody else. Da 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 da. It's like we were so ashamed of having to kill her, we just shot her in the back.
Either way, let's see how everything plays out.
I mean, to me, that at least made me feel a bit more. And now that I've actually been introduced to the character, it makes it even worse. Now I'm gonna go watch episode 3 and cry even harder.
Yes.
And then laugh at Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. Well, mostly Hayden Christensen. Even though he's a great actor. Good actor.
I don't hate it.
Bad lines. Bad script. Bad George Lucas. You don't touch those scripts.
God damn it.
I mean, he hates sand. It gets rough. It's everywhere. It gets rough. It's rough. It gets everywhere.
It's everywhere, especially my asshole. But going back on topic, or any whatever.
Whatever the fuck we've derailed this into. Because I sure as hell don't know. No, if you like the universe and you like the pre-Galactic Empire universe, this is definitely something that's considered canon that you need to take a look into because it's got a lot of great stories. If you're not necessarily too interested, but you kind of want to know a little bit more about Anakin Skywalker and kind of the stories about the clones, perfect watch. If you want a fairly violent and dark kids TV show, it's right up your alley. Otherwise, if you're not a Star Wars fan, why the fuck are you listening to this? Go watch Star Wars! Seriously. Like, you're missing out on such a good, just universe.
And your virginity wants you back.
Fuck you. No, it doesn't. Oh, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Paladin, for joining me once again.
No problem.
So we can talk nerdy stuff and what have you.
Oh yeah, my body feels so hard right now.
Mine's standing up. If you want to leave any comments about the first part of the podcast where we talked about the pilot, season 1 for episode 1 for series 10 of Doctor Who, please leave any comments relating to that down there below. We will talk more about that. If you want to talk about Star Wars The Clone Wars, whether it be episode 2, which I don't know why you would, but I'll let you go ahead and come anyway, because I can't really stop you, or the actual TV show that I'm watching so far, minus any spoilers, I will try to finish the series before this goes up.
Or you guys can talk about how much you like episode 1 of Star Wars and say how the kid was the best actor in there.
Yeah, I feel so bad for that kid.
I do too, I really do.
Like, he grew up in, oh my god, he grew up when the internet was growing up, and so everybody just shit on him anyway.
Oh god, yeah, I feel bad for that kid.
Poor kid. I can't remember the actor's name. I'm sure he's a good guy and could be a great actor, but he was not given. It's a lot of the problems with those prequels were the scripts, but we'll talk about that later. That might be saved for another podcast. So, thank you all for joining us. If you want to have any more discussion about the topics that we covered, please leave a comment below. I'd love to keep conversating with everybody else. And as always, everyone, have a great day.